Liverpool recently took the decision to step away from a club record pursuit of the £130 million rated Jude Bellingham in favour of spreading their transfer budget for the summer across a handful of other, less expensive options, and Alexis McAllister is one of those that fits the bill. As reported by the Echo earlier this month, Liverpool have placed the Argentina star near the top of their transfer shortlist, but are braced for competition as the race heats up for the midfielder. But is there much between the two players? For half the price, could McAllister be a shrewder option than his English counterpart? In order to find this out, I have compared the statistics of Bellingham and McAllister in almost every measurable factor of their game to see who comes out on top, at least numerically. In order to make this as fair a comparison as possible, I will only be using statistics from each player's respective domestic leagues during the current 2022-23 season. Despite both having featured and mightily impressing during the World Cup, and Jude Bellingham dazzling in the Champions League group stage. Albeit, Bellingham is playing in a better team in an arguably easier league, but both players have made 31 appearances in the league for their clubs, with Bellingham only playing 60 more minutes in total than McAllister. It makes sense to start with arguably the most important metric when assessing midfielders: passing. Both players are very competent passers of the ball, and while both are seen as all-round midfielders and not necessarily playmakers, their numbers are actually some of the best across Europe. But the trend throughout the passing comparison is that Alexis McAllister comes out on top. The Brighton midfielder is more accurate with his passing, makes more successful passes and less inaccurate ones than Bellingham over the course of 90 minutes, and is a pretty decent crosser. Whilst Bellingham is more progressive and forward with his passing, something which has led to more assists, McAllister is statistically the better passer. With Liverpool's huge summer rebuild on the horizon, goals from midfield is something that fans have been crying out for, so assessing shooting stats is going to be important if Liverpool are to be successful in the midfield transfer market. Once again, McAllister is more than proving his worth, although you could argue that Bellingham is the better goal scorer from midfield as he has more goals from open play. That said, McAllister does have the greater shooting accuracy and averages both more shots and shots on target per 90 minutes, though he does tend to play further forward than Bellingham. McAllister has once again beaten Bellingham though, and while the Englishman may convert more of his chances, McAllister is the more effective in front of goal in terms of total output and averages at least one shot on target every match. While both players are very effective going forwards, how do they compare defensively? These two players have caught the eye with their attacking prowess, but it is vital that a new midfielder in a Jurgen Klopp team can defend. Even though he has practically played as a number 10 for Brighton, McAllister has got stuck into his defensive duties, boasting a better tackle success ratio than Jude Bellingham and averaging more recoveries of the ball when lost. That said, the box-to-box machine that is Bellingham edges the comparison slightly on tackles per 90 minutes and interceptions whilst being involved in more aerial duels. As I said, this may be down to the fact that Bellingham does play deeper in midfield than McAllister, encouraging more defensive engagements, but that said, the Brighton man has clearly got the capability to be more than competent enough defender for Liverpool. The last metric I'll be comparing Bellingham and McAllister in is dribbling and chance creation, arguably what the two are best known for. It's not as happy reading for McAllister in this round, unfortunately, as the numbers show that he doesn't actually dribble the ball that often, preferring to move the ball on early to teammates. The Dortmund man is one of the most progressive ball carriers in Europe, and while he does boast more attempts than McAllister, the Argentine actually has the highest success rate when he takes players on. Plus, each player has created exactly the same number of chances created for their teams this term per 90 minutes, creating an average of at least one goal-scoring opportunity every match. So that wraps up the comparisons. Let's see the final scores. The pair boasts some of the best passing numbers across Europe's top 5 leagues this season, with McAllister being clear of Jude Bellingham's also very impressive stats. When it came to shooting, the pair are actually a lot closer than the number suggests, though McAllister once again took the edge over the Dortmund man. The pair were once again almost inseparable when comparing defensive numbers, though McAllister's high positioning is his downfall, with his underlying numbers actually suggesting he is a more than competent enough defender. And rounding off the comparison was of course dribbling and creativity, a round which Bellingham finally triumphed in, though McAllister was statistically the more successful dribbler. So it looks like Alexis McAllister is statistically a better midfielder than Jude Bellingham. He can offer goals from midfield, with a guarantee of at least one shot on target every match with a goal from every 3. His passing stats, as I mentioned, rank among some of the best in Europe this season. He's a very competent and effective dribbler, and with those defending stats, he is more than capable of a box-to-box midfield role in Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool side. Would you like to see the Reds move in for the Brighton man? How much would you be willing to pay for him, and do you think he's the answer to Liverpool's midfield problems? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.